welcome to your last video for RAD 300. It's been a pleasure having you in this little mini class. Looks like everything's gone pretty well for you with no major questions. But do remember that at any time, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, to please contact me. That is my job, and that is what I'm here for. I'm here for your success throughout this entire program. A little bit of some observations about this week. I noticed that both of you, Jody and Jamie, in our discussion for this week took a little bit of a unique approach. Maybe I didn't make something clear in my instructions. I'll have to go back to it. No worries. But I noticed that when we were doing the discussion about kind of projecting where you see yourself in about 5 years, that both of you posted a Word document to the discussion thread. And which is fine. I mean, I was able, of course, to open the two documents up and read it, which is a valuable skill to learn, because at times you will post various things within a discussion thread. But I think normally what you'll find in discussion threads, and that's what we call them, threaded discussions, you will post your full comments in there. Now, I think I was thinking, well, where did I go wrong in communicating maybe to both of you about how to do this? I did reference somewhere, and I couldn't find the exact spot, but I know I referenced somewhere to compose your posts within Word, and that's totally optional. I mean, that's what I generally do. So let's say I have to write back to a student, or let's say I'm actually putting a main post in there. I'll type it all out in Word. Of course, it's got a real nice spell check. I can make sure everything looks nice and clean. I can edit the whole thing. Then what I do is I copy that, and then not the Word document itself, but just the actual text. So maybe that's where I confused things. I just copy the text and then paste the text within the threaded discussion. So that works for me. Some folks just start writing right in the threaded discussion. There is a spell check option in there, so you can double check anything before you submit it, but you do have to actually hit the little ABC button, little icon for the spell check. It will not run it for you automatically. So play with that, play with the threaded discussions. I'm sure you're getting those in Quentin's course, and you kind of see how they're working. So but again, it's a good skill to know how to drop a document within a threaded discussion, because you'll be asked to do that from time to time as well. So everything looks really good. I think one of you have already completed all your assignments for this little mini course, so excellent. And then, if you don't have everything all in, you do have till Sunday at midnight to get everything in. This course is a pass-fail course, so basically if you have everything in, you pass the course. So also in today's video, I wanted to go over a little bit about library resources. We have implemented some kind of what we call a library resource bookshelf. And I wanted to spend just a couple of minutes on that so you become familiar with it. Again, I encourage you to play with all the resources within D2L this summer. Get used to them now. While you're only taking one course, just click on links. You really can't hurt anything. So do play with that. And I would definitely look at the library resources that you can access online. So when you're in a little bit more time-conscious situation, you're not struggling with that. But let me just take a moment and kind of guide you through some of the basics that work for me. I'm always finding shortcuts, so by no means is this perfect, but this is kind of the way that I approach it. So let's take a second and let's look at the library resource bookshelf. Well, the first thing to need to know is to access the bookshelf. It's done within D2L. And you'll notice that it's pretty subtle, but right up here, you'll see the library resource bookshelf. Simply click on it. And then we have this, and this is new. We just came up with this this year. And again, I would encourage you click on each one of these little books. Each one will take you to a different area. Library, mission, books, research. There is a very interesting video within research that I would say would be worth your time to watch, and that's right here. So I would play with that, watch that little video about good information and bad information. But let's go back up to the little bookshelf here. And the one that's going to be your best friend is the Mercy Journal Holdings. Click on that. This will talk about journaling and so on and so forth. Journals are, professional journals are really the lifeblood of research. So if you've never heard about these before, you will. But there's a whole industry out there of professional journals, professional publications where they publish research articles. As RAD techs, nuke med, radiation therapy techs, the ones that we're most familiar with is the one that you may see quite often in your departments is radiologic technology. That's the name of the publication through the ARRT. That is a peer-reviewed journal article magazine, if you will. So, and that's the other key piece is that when we say journals, we're talking about academic journals that are peer-reviewed, meaning that somebody writes a piece, a research topic. It is reviewed by peers for publication by a group of other individuals and then deemed worthy, I guess, if you will, to be published. So it's just not anything that can be published. If you're in Quentin's course, Quentin is actually published 2 or 3 times in major academic journals. So he's a great resource on that. Again, that's when we talk about journals, it's not just your normal magazine. And typically you want to steer away from normal magazines in most of your work when you are looking for resources. Not necessarily always, but you do want to try to stick to academic works. Okay, so you go to the journal page. I'll just kind of one more time. Of course, you click there. We're in the journal area. And you want to go to what we call the proxy page. That's probably something you want to bookmark, this little area right here. Brings you to the Mercy logon. So I'm going to type in my last name. It's asking for my last name. It knows me because I've been here before. And I want to put in my library barcode. I'm going to cheat. I've already got it copied. And hit submit. Cross my fingers. Ta-da, I'm in. Okay, now that I'm in the library proxy page, this is something that we've created here at Mercy to kind of consolidate things a little bit. I still don't think it's perfect, but at least it's better than just kind of throwing everything out there and having you try to navigate it on your own. Again, you may want to feel free to look through these links, but really the ones you're going to use, there's really one you'll use almost exclusively, and that's this one right here, CINAHL. And I forget what it actually abbreviates for, but it is kind of our accumulation of everything that we have with nursing and allied health. The other ones that are of importance but lesser used are films on demand. That's kind of fun. Feel free to mess around with that. A lot of video on there from all kinds of sources in many different areas of topic. And the Electronic Journal Center. The Electronic Journal Center, it lists the journals that you have access to by title, but there's no real way to dig down into it. So for research purposes, unless you know exactly what you're looking for, you know the journal, you know the edition, month published, whatever, that's really not that much of a help. So you want to pretty much start right here, right with the CINAHL. So if you remember anything today, remember this. This CINAHL is the one to click on. And it will grind through here. And it brings you through this EBSCO host. And pretty much, again, EBSCO and CINAHL, I guess you could say, are if you will, the same thing. It's going to search the databases that you have access to. We don't have access to everything, so it's not the end-all, be-all. I'll give you a big point. This example is the New England Journal of Medicine. Unfortunately, we do not have access to the New England Journal of Medicine. The cost on that for our institution is extraordinary, and there's just no way we're going to get it. Now, what you may want to look at is your local library resources. You may be able to get things like, New England Journal of Medicine, or Lancet, or some of these other journals through your own public library system. Mercy College has partnered with a lot of other small colleges and universities in the Midwest to combine our monies to buy things, to buy access to databases, but even there are some gaps. So just let you know, you may want to bounce between two different sources. One, your local libraries, and then two, what we have here at Mercy College. Okay, so once you're here, then you just pretty much type in, what are you doing a paper on? And let's just say, let's see, CT colonoscopy. It's kind of a hot topic. Do you want to get a traditional one, or do you want to get the virtual one? And I think I spelled that right. Okay, let's just hit search. Let's see what comes up. Oh, all right. Hey, we've got a lot. Okay, looks good. Now I'm looking at articles, page numbers, kind of a little synopsis of them, seeing what might be of interest on say I'm writing a paper. That one looks good. Virtual colonoscopy, latest tool, but it's only one page. Oh, so let's skip that one. Okay, may not be a good one to do right now. Let's take a look. All right, here's a nice one. CT colonography versus colonoscopy and the follow-up of patients after diverticulitis. Maybe that might be kind of cool. Looks like it's got some decent pages numbers to it, so I know it's at least a halfway decent article. Very apparent to me that it looks like it's peer-reviewed. Let's go ahead. Now, I want to look at it. I look down here. Sometimes you'll see the actual words PDF full article in here, or you'll see find it. What that means is EBSCO doesn't have it, but it will go out to other authorized databases that we have paid for and look for it for you. So let's hit the find it button and cross our fingers. Great. Okay. So we do have the full text, and we do have it through the Electronic Journal Center. The good news is we don't have to go back into that Electronic Journal Center that I mentioned to you before and go through and find this particular journal, which is called Clinical Radiology 2007. I can just click this button and it will do it for me. Oh, boom, there it is. And there's the full text in a PDF form. Let's just take a look at it. I'm doing my term paper. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I have to get this done. Okay, well, after about a minute and a half, it did download the article. It was running a little bit slow, but here we go. Nice peer-reviewed article, and all here available to me for my research. Something I have this in this case, it's a PDF. I can print it out, save it, and use that for research. So that is really a great tool for you, being able to again go through here. We can now there's the nursing one that was only one page. Let's again, but you could, and there's multiple pages at this particular research. When we did CT colonoscopy, I got multiple more pages that I can go through. So there's a interesting article right there, peer reviewed. Again, great resource. In this case, I can look at the full text in HTML versus the Find It button. Let's just see what happens there. There we go. Oh, isn't that nice? Everything right there. So do become familiar with that. Let me show you one more trick that I like. And again, you can do the Electronic Journal Center. It's just basically, imagine if you walked into a library and all those magazines, those journals are just sitting on a shelf. That's what that's like. It doesn't really help you dig into it. But let's say you want to dig into a particular magazine, let's say Radiologic Technology. I can type JN, and that's for journal, and I can type the name of the journal. So let's say Radiologic Technology, RADIOLOG, Radiologic, end quote. So now it'll search for every radiologic technology, GY, the magazine or the journal, every article that's appeared in there in chronological order in this case. And this is, this literally, I just got mine maybe last week, and all of this is from last week's publication, which is great. And another nice feature is this slider bar. A lot of your instructors will say relevant information in the past 3 years. I can crank it down. So let's just say I want only articles from 2010 to 2013. Update. I can look through here as well. And you can use that slider on any one of your searches. So I really like the EBSCO host for searching. Again, I can filter it in a lot of different ways. So become familiar with the filtering. And if you do become familiar with any particular one journal, I would say it'd be Radiologic Technology, because you're going to find the most out of that particular source. So that is a little bit about the library resources. Do play around with them. Again, journal holdings, that's the one you want to go to. You'll go to the proxy page, which is listed here or down here. And you'll want to do the CINAHL, kind of the one in the middle. And then just go for it. Start typing in either journal names with the prefix JN and then quotes, or just whatever you want to look for. So hopefully that helps a little bit about research. Other than that, that pretty much concludes this video. Again, congratulations on finishing your first course here at Mercy. What I would encourage you to do in about, by the end of next week, go on to Empower, or the full name is called Empower Me, but go on to Empower and look up your student record, which you have instructions on how to do that within your packets that I sent you. And you'll be able to see, of course, the courses that you're currently in, and then grades. So you should be able to see a grade pop up on there. I want you to get used to being able to, for you to be able to access and look at how you look at final grades. Only your final grades will appear in Empower. Your course grades are still within the D2L environment until the instructor puts the final close on that course. So give it a shot. Again, play around this summer. That's what it's all about, getting used to some of the technology. If you have any technology questions that come up, please let me know. Again, I want to thank you also for your patience. This was the first course run on our new 10.1 system, and you'll probably see some more changes coming throughout this summer. I know there's some things that we don't particularly like on the layout, so you might see some minor tweaks as we go along. But other than that, thank you for your patience. I think everything went really, really smooth. And again, welcome to the program. Any questions, always give me a call. Thanks. Bye-bye.